This was the strongest enemy in human history. Even the master of the gods Zeus had to come down to earth, and led the 4 strongest gods to fight. As a result, all 3 gods died, and only one god was still alive. Athena was seriously injured, so he had to return to Olympus. And their enemy was the Titans. Titans were originally gods. However, several thousand years ago, they caused the war between the gods. Finally, they failed and were imprisoned by Zeus in a cage on Mount Tartarus. And they would never see the sun. Until a few thousand years later, someone suddenly appeared, and took the magic bow and shot it at the cage, so they were released. Therefore, the most catastrophic war in human history in 1,000 years happened. He was the King Hyperion. That year, his wife died because of an epidemic. He prayed to the gods for his wife's life, but his wife eventually still passed away. So from then on, he came up with the idea of taking revenge on the gods. But the one who was able to fight the gods could only be the Titans imprisoned in the mountains. However, the Titans were locked in the cage. The only way to open the cage was to get the magic bow that fell to earth in the previous war. Because of that, Hyperion led his army all over Greece to find the magic bow and free the Titans. But he was extremely brutal. The places he invaded were like hell. And the gods of heaven saw all this, so they wanted to help humans. However, Zeus ordered the gods to stop meddling in human problems. Otherwise, disaster would surely happen. However, he himself came down to the earth, and taught a mortal man named Theseus martial arts. At this moment, the king's army quickly arrived here. Although Theseus tried his best to resist, he was eventually captured. And his mother was also killed. Then Theseus was enslaved. While resting, there was a group of female saints passing by. Accidentally, there was a female saint bumping into Theseus, and she saw his life in the future. Then she gave Theseus water, and told him to try to survive. In the evening, the female saints pretended to pray. Taking that opportunity, they dealt with the guard next door, and saved Theseus. Meanwhile, because of hiding for them, the other female saints were arrested. While they were preparing to get on the boat to escape, the king's army had already chased them. Seeing the danger, Poseidon finally couldn't sit still. So he came down to earth to help humanity himself. However, he didn't directly attack the king's army, but created a large wave. The female saints knew that Poseidon was helping them, so they told everyone to hide first. Thanks to Poseidon's help, they were finally safe. After that, Theseus took everyone back to his hometown to bury his mother. While burying his mother, there was a stone beside him suddenly emitting light. Out of curiosity, he broke the stone with a hammer, and there was magic bow like in legend appearing. Theseus couldn't believe it, then he tried to draw the bow and quickly killed a soldier. Therefore, he was a bit arrogant, and took the initiative to meet the king to challenge him. However, the king went to Mount Tartarus, and even sent soldiers to ambush in the sanctuary to wait for them. Therefore, when they just arrived at the sanctuary, they were immediately ambushed. The magic bow of Theseus was taken and his companions were also killed. At this time, the sun god Apollo also came to earth and quickly defeated the enemy. After that, the goddess of wisdom Athena also came. However, Zeus saw the whole thing. Zeus was very angry and immediately came to earth with murderous eyes. The sun god said, "Just because humans make mistakes, so many tragedies have happened." Zeus didn't say much, but hit the sun god with his magic whip. After that, Apollo instantly turned to dust. However, Zeus still left the horse to the Theseus's group, so that they could chase to Mount Tartarus. Meanwhile, the king had also obtained the magic bow. He immediately grabbed the bow, and aimed it at the castle wall. Because of that, the castle wall was broken with a large hole, and countless soldiers rushed over. The soldiers inside were also panicking. This wasn't originally a battle of the same level. However, thanks to Theseus' cheers, everyone regained their courage to fight. Meanwhile, through the side road, the king was able to enter the castle, and lead to Mount Tartarus. The king only shot an arrow, and then opened the sealed door. At this moment, Theseus quickly ran over. After that, the king shot an arrow into the cage. Titans had been locked inside for a long time without seeing sunlight. After the king shot at the cage, there was a loud explosion sounding. So the Titans locked up for 1,000 years had finally been released. After that, Theseus's teammate found a bow from the ground, and wanted to give it to him. But the Titans quickly defeated that person. At this time, Zeus suddenly came to earth and also led 4 other gods with him. Because from this moment on, it was no longer a human war. Zeus told Theseus to fight the king, and he would deal with these people. Therefore, the war between the gods and the Titans continued again. But the gods eventually died. Meanwhile, Theseus also found the king. They then got into a fight. Although Theseus was seriously injured, he still managed to kill the king. At this time, Athena was surrounded by Titans, and she was severely beaten. Seeing this, Zeus was extremely angry. He stood on the cage, and took off his helmet. He also used a magic rope to pull the stone statue. Then the whole mountain collapsed. After that, Zeus took Athens, who was seriously injured, back to Olympus, and brought Theseus with him, because Theseus was recognized by Zeus for his achievements. Although the victory belonged to the gods, this war also left many serious tragedies. Zeus was a master of the gods, but ultimately he couldn't protect his people. But he also didn't give up, because the war between the gods wasn't over yet. After that, he gave Theseus a son named Acamas, who was also the great leader of Thracian. And Zeus also transformed into a human once again in order to direct Acamas to fight. Although the god couldn't be able to directly help the humans, Zeus would still guide them silently, and help them become heroes step by step. On the journey to get peace, there were a lot of heroes and combatants who had to die. But their goal was to regain peace. In fact, there was basically no such thing as years of peace in this world. It was just that we were living in a peaceful country. There would definitely be heroes who fought for a life of peace. Therefore, we had to understand, respect and love our country as well as the heroes. The movie comes here. Thanks for watching. See you in the next exciting movies. See you.